Jackson State put up a dominant performance against their rival Southern at home. Over 30,000 was in the building to watch that one as the Tigers were able to run literally over Southern all game long. Does this establish JSU as the favorites in the SWAC? Not just the SWAC East, but the entire SWAC moving forward. Let's talk about it and how impressive the Tigers have been this year after the bumper. Stay tuned. What is going on, everybody? What is going on, everybody? My name is Jeff Lighty Jr. This is the Victor Formation Sports Show right here on Jeff Lighty Jr. YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get your content. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and the notification bell because we upload all the time. Now, JSU, the Jackson State Tigers, they were able to get the big win over their rival Southern. The game, it was pretty much dominated by the Tigers from start to finish, 33-15. Jackson State ran for 201 yards on the ground, and they were able to actually earn HBCU Plus National Team of the Week because what they were able to do against Southern. Cameron McCoy actually started the game. He had to leave early. He had 2 completions, 2 for 4, 45 yards through the air. He was able to break off some nice runs, 2 rushes for 23 yards on the ground. But the ground attack was too much for Southern to handle. A well-balanced attack. Irv Mulligan, 13 carries. J.D. Martin, 12 carries. Ahmad Miller only had 3 carries, but he had a 30-yard touchdown. Travis Terrell had 34 yards on the ground, including a long run. Just well-balanced attack. 42 rushing attempts for the JSU Tigers. 201 yards on the ground, averaged about 5 yards per carry, and they won this game, like I said, convincingly, 33-15. Now, through a couple of games, a dominant performance against Lane, that is what it is, and then a really good showing against UL Monroe, who the very next week went out and beat UAB. JSU to me is starting to look like they're separating themselves from the rest of the teams in the SWAC. Now it's hard. Let me preference everything by saying it has been hard to evaluate everyone else in the SWAC because they've been playing these money games. I'm gonna just be honest, they played games like FAMU played Miami and got beat 59-6 or 56-9 or something like that, and Alabama A&M had some money games. Let me go look at these again because it's hard to evaluate teams when they're playing competition that's either really bad or competitions that's just way better than them, right? Like, Prairie View playing Michigan State getting beat 40-0. But also, then you see Grambling struggle with Texas A&M Commerce and have to go into overtime. Alabama A&M struggle with Georgetown College, which is like a D2 or D3 school here in the state of Kentucky. Bethune-Cookman playing Western Michigan and getting 59 points hung on them. So, like, it's hard to find that balance. But just from what I've seen, JSU showing against their one FBS opponent where they could have won. Like a couple of mistakes here, there, they could have won that game. It looks a little worse from the final score than what it actually was. But if you actually watch the game like I did, that late touchdown is what kind of separated UL Monroe from what Jackson State was actually able to do throughout that game, which includes running the ball. And that's the strength of their team right now. The strength of their team is being able to run the ball and have a well-balanced attack. They brought back J.D. Martin and Irv Mulligan for this Southern game, and they looked the part. Irv Mulligan specifically. I still want to see Ahmad Miller get more carries. He only had 3 carries, and one of them was the 30-yard touchdown run off the pitch from Jacobian Morgan, and he made plays. I like to see some of those carries from J.D. Martin go down, and more of the carries go to Travis Terrell and Ahmad Miller. I think those 2 guys are studs. I'd love to see them continue to get the ball, but hey, that's Coach T.C. Taylor's decision and not mine. He's the head coach, not me. But the dominant performance, both on offense, being able to run the ball at will, the vertical passing game still isn't where it needs to be. That's the biggest knock on JSU right now. If you want to elevate, if the team wants to take another step in the direction of getting better, you have to be able to pass the ball better vertically down the field. Jacobian Morgan, 12 of 21, 153 yards. He had a long pass of 30. Like I said, Cameron McCoy, who actually started the game, 2 of 4, 45 yards, had a long pass of 23 yards. Not anything crazy. Now, what does concern me a little bit is the secondary. The secondary is susceptible to give up big plays. The secondary and the pass protection, those are two things I think they need to clean up. The secondary ended up the young man from Southern ended up throwing for like 350 yards. Let me make sure I'm getting that right. Noah Bowden came in relief. They knocked out the QB1, and he wasn't having that great of a game anyway. But Noah Bowden came in. Now he threw 2 interceptions, but he went 17 to 29 for 352 yards in a couple of deep passes. Now Southern couldn't run the ball at all. JSU has improved their linebacking core so much that they can stop the run. They stop the run, they tackle well in space, but they are susceptible to giving up the big play. And the only team that I think that can exploit that is FAMU. If you were able to run into FAMU in the SWAC championship game, if you run into FAMU, because they're not on your regular season schedule, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, they are. You play FAMU at Jackson on October 19th. When you see FAMU, you're gonna have to get that secondary together. And Alabama A&M can toss the ball around a little bit too. Alabama A&M just as a team isn't impressive, but Coach Connell Maynor and the Bulldogs, they're throwing for like 300 yards a game, 350 yards a game. Now, once again, they're not a complete team, but you need to tighten that secondary up and get better, more sacks into the passer, back to the passer better, because 350 yards by Noah Bowden isn't good. And a lot of those were because guys were running wide open. It was a lot of breakdowns and miscommunications in the secondary. Now, you only gave up 15 points now. I don't want to overdo this. He threw for a lot of what I call empty calories because it was a whole bunch of yards, but 315 yards or 50 yards, 350 yards typically results in more than 15 points, right? So, like, it was a lot of empty calories there. At the same time, that isn't something that you want to continue to do because there are going to be more efficient passing teams like FAMU and potentially Alabama A&M that is on your schedule that you'll see throughout the year. I'm not so sure if Grambling. Now, Miles Crawley's a talented passer. And you're going to get some of that. I mean, he can stand back there and sling it. But from what they've shown so far this year, I don't know how much of a vertical passing team that they can be and how much they're going to be able to do, because I don't know how they can run the ball. And JSU has proven that they tackle well. The front seven gets after running backs really, really well. They stuff the run. They gave issues to UL Monroe, and they gave issues to Southern, and obviously they gave issues to Lane. And so stopping the run, JSU is pretty good at that. Running the ball, JSU, they're a run-first team, and they stop the run. And so UL Monroe had success throwing the ball down the field at times. Southern had success throwing the ball down the field at times. That secondary needs to tighten up, but the rest of the defense is playing really well. Even the secondary is coming down and tackling well as well. But I think JSU was starting to establish themselves as one of the upper echelon teams in the SWAC. I think JSU, from what they've shown in three games, they've been more impressive than Alabama State. They've been more impressive than Grambling, than Alabama A&M, than Prairie View, than some of these teams that the others may have thought was going to be better than them this season. Now, the SWAC still has divisions. That's something that college football is going away from. And in their division is Alabama State and FAMU. But you get a chance, an opportunity later in the year to take care of business against them and punch your ticket to the SWAC championship game and host it at Jackson. At the same time, I believe you got to take care of business against the teams on your schedule. And Grambling is next. So that is the team up next. And that is the team you have to, once again, stop the run and limit the vertical passing yards, limit the deep shots down the field, limit the big time plays just by basic miscommunication. It's not that I don't think JSU can't cover. I think that they just had breakdowns in their secondary. And also, I talked about the offensive line and pass protection. They've had breakdowns in pass protection as well. There's guys running wide, free shots to your quarterback. That can't happen. That cannot happen. Obviously, Cam McCoy has to be able to stay healthy. So I don't know. Coach TC Taylor seems to like Cam McCoy a lot. He just can't finish a game. At the same time, and he may be someone that continues to start. So you have to be able to protect him. And even if it's Jacobian Morgan, who isn't as nimble as Cam McCoy, I think that's why he may be going with Cam McCoy. I'm gonna have another video talking about Cam McCoy versus Jacobian Morgan and why I think TC, at least the first two times, chose him over Jacobian to start. At the same time, you have to be able to protect your passer because I talked about I want to see them do better throwing the ball down the field, better more than just screen passes, bubble screens, and all that stuff. You got to be able to hit shots down the field like how Southern was able to hit on you. But an only way to do that is to protect your quarterback. And at times you have breakdowns on the offensive line. They're run blocking their ass off, like they're moving dudes out of the way. Pass protection needs to be better because that's the only way you're going to be able to be more than just one dimensional. Be able to throw the ball down the field, make plays with your wide receivers. You have talented wide receivers, Isaiah Spencer, Fabian McCray, others. You got to be able to protect your quarterback to get the ball to those guys. But leave your thoughts. I think JSU may be establishing themselves as the best team in the SWAC. What do you say? They get an opportunity to continue to prove it this week against Grambling. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Once again, my name is Jeff Lightsey Jr. This is the Victory Formation Sports Show right here on Jeff Lightsey Jr. YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get your content. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and the notification bell because I upload all the time. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Peace.